Welcome to Flashpoint Friday, a weekly series where I select one game at random from Flashpoint's archives and give it a try. And maybe, just maybe, the game might actually be good. Hello everyone, welcome back to Flashpoint Friday. And this week we are met with a fake login screen and some recommendations about this game. It's talking about the quality, difference between high and low. If you have a fast computer, you can set it to high. And this game's definition of a fast computer, by the way, is 200 megahertz. So don't worry, game. I think I'll be just fine with the high quality here. But yes, we have a game called COTSE Spy Hunter. And this is actually my second recording of this because with my first recording, I realized after the fact because the volume on my end is pretty loud, and even though by my default recording options I have it set to, I think it's negative 15 decibels, which works for most titles, when I was playing back the footage, I could barely hear my own voice getting drowned out by the sound. This is a very loud game. But anyway, for those curious about COTSE here, I looked it up online, and it's apparently a very long-running, like, anonymous email provider company that started back in 1999, and I guess this was a game on their old website, and I think they've since rebranded to Coda Mail, but they're still around, but this game is nowhere to be found online. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and head in. So yeah, I am not playing this blind for the purposes of this, just because the first recording, the sound was so off. But anyway, this is a Spy Hunter clone, essentially. So how to play, talking about the car and the truck. For those familiar with Spy Hunter will probably know what this is all about. This is the resupply truck, but it's branded with the COTSE logo or text or name. This is the enemy, hitman, and traffic. Talk about you can actually earn points by bumping into or shooting the traffic. And let's just jump in. I'll show you what this is all about. I strongly suspect that this game might be running too fast because it was obviously designed for much older and slower computers. But this is an attempt to bring Spy Hunter to the web browser. And I think this is an old game. I don't know for sure. Flashpoint doesn't have a release date listed on this. But I don't know. Something about this leads me to think that this was probably made when COTSE was around the time. It was founded in 1999. But I will say, though, this is not a particularly accurate or not even particularly fun, unfortunately, Spy Hunter clone for reasons I'll get into here. First off, as you probably noticed, the enemy car with the sniper is brutal on this version of Spy Hunter. Far more than they were in the arcade version. And the reason being is that is one super rapid firing gun that he's shooting at us. Alright, well, I'll go ahead and play again while I'm narrating. To the point where if you want to take out the enemy, you basically have to resign yourself to the fact that you're going to be destroyed as well. Watch. Oop. Hello. Well, this didn't happen before. Oh no. Wow. That's a first for the series. So, give me a sec. I'm gonna have to restart. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, the game crashed on me, so hopefully I can demonstrate what I was talking about before with the difficulty of taking out the enemy car. Okay, well, I actually managed to take him out fairly decently with that, but I took a decent amount of damage too. So, yeah, your best bet is just to avoid, well, try your best to avoid fire from the enemy car altogether, and just focus on taking out the random traffic instead. You'll get more points and you'll progress farther that way. But, I do freely admit that I'm not very good at Spy Hunter, regardless of the version that it is, but this is, yeah, this is like cranked up to 11 for the difficulty. So because of that, it's not a particularly, like I said, not a particularly fun Spy Hunter clone, unfortunately. An attempt was made, but it crashed and burned. So I'm just gonna leave it there, I guess. So that's COTSE Spy Hunter, and it's a Spy Hunter clone, but like I said, it's not a particularly good one. You're better off playing the arcade original, or there's been all sorts of ports for home consoles, and there's even been a remake or two, I think, like for the GameCube and possibly PlayStation 2, I think. So if you really want to get your Spy Hunter fix, try any of those iterations, but you probably don't want to play this version. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Flashpoint Friday, and take care, everyone.